My wife wasted 1 year letting an office affair grow. I didn't find out about the affair in a dramatic way. There was no lipstick on a collar, no late-night phone buzzing that woke me up, no neighbor whispering rumors. What I found was much quieter, and somehow, that made it worse. It started with a year that felt slightly off. Nothing obvious. Just small things that didn't fit together, like puzzle pieces from different boxes. My wife, Claire, and I had been married for 11 years. We had a routine that worked. Morning coffee together. Shared jokes about the news. Complaints about traffic. Quiet dinners. Weekend errands. Nothing glamorous but solid. Or at least that's what I believed. Then her job changed everything. She got promoted at her marketing firm. Bigger responsibilities, longer hours, new team. I was proud of her. I told her that often. I supported the late nights and the occasional weekend calls. I took on more at home without complaint because that's what partners do. At first, she came home tired but talkative. She'd tell me about office politics, deadlines, and a new project she was excited about. She mentioned her boss, Ethan, a few times. Just in passing. His leadership style. His expectations. Nothing that raised alarms. Over time, the stories changed. She stopped sharing details. Her phone stayed face down. She answered texts with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She started dressing differently for work, more carefully, more intentionally. When I complimented her, she brushed it off like it didn't matter. Our conversations became shorter. Our silences grew longer. I told myself this was normal. Stress does things to people. Careers shift. Marriage isn't always exciting. I didn't want to be the suspicious husband. I trusted her. That trust cost me a year of my life. The first clear sign came on a random Tuesday night. She came home later than usual and said there had been a team dinner. I asked where they went. She hesitated for half a second before answering. That half second lodged itself in my chest. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask follow-up questions. I smiled and said I was glad she'd had fun. That night, lying next to her, I stared at the ceiling and wondered why a simple answer had felt rehearsed. From that point on, I noticed everything. She guarded her phone like it contained state secrets. She laughed at messages she wouldn't share. She started taking work calls outside, even when the house was quiet. She grew impatient with me over small things, how I loaded the dishwasher, how I asked about her day, how I breathed in the same room. It was like I had become an inconvenience in my own marriage. Still, I didn't accuse her. I was afraid of what I'd find out. Afraid that asking the question would make the fear real. Months passed like this. 1 year. A year of emotional distance. A year of unanswered questions. A year of pretending everything was fine while something inside me slowly broke down. The truth finally surfaced, not because she confessed, but because she grew careless. One evening, she left her laptop open on the kitchen table while she took a shower. I wasn't snooping. I went to close it, and a message popped up. Ethan. I still think about that night. Hard not to after everything this year. That was all it took. I didn't scroll. I didn't dig. I didn't need more details. That single sentence explained the last 12 months with brutal clarity. When she came out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around her hair, I was sitting at the table. Calm. Too calm. I asked her one question. How long? She froze. That pause, longer this time, told me everything before she spoke. A year, she said quietly. 1 year. Not a mistake. Not a moment of weakness. Not a drunken lapse she immediately regretted. A year of choices. A year of lunches that went too long. Conversations that crossed lines. Emotional intimacy redirected away from our marriage. Boundaries loosened, then erased. A year of telling herself stories to justify it. It never meant to happen, she said, like that mattered. I listened as she explained. How it started as work talk. How he understood her stress. How he made her feel seen. How it never got physical until later, as if that somehow softened the blow. She cried. She apologized. She said she was confused. She said she never planned to leave me. What she didn't say was what hurt the most. She didn't say she stopped herself. She didn't say she tried to fix our marriage before crossing the line. She didn't say she chose us at any point during that year. She let it grow.
Slowly. Comfortably.
Quietly. She let another man become her emotional partner while I paid bills, cooked dinners, and waited for her to come back to me. That realization was devastating in a way I can't fully describe. Infidelity isn't just about betrayal. It's about neglect. It's about what someone allows to happen while you stand there believing you matter. I asked her why she didn't stop it. She didn't have a good answer. I didn't want to lose the connection, she said. Not him. The connection. That sentence told me everything about where I ranked in her priorities. In the weeks that followed, we existed in the same house like strangers. She wanted to talk constantly, process, heal, explain. I didn't. I had spent a year being ignored. I wasn't interested in listening now. I replayed the past 12 months in my head and saw it clearly for the first time. All the moments she chose distance instead of honesty. All the chances she had to pull back and didn't. All the energy she invested elsewhere while our marriage starved. She didn't just have an affair. She invested in one.
Time.
Emotion. Attention. Intention. Those are the things a marriage needs to survive. She redirected them somewhere else and hoped I wouldn't notice. I also noticed something else during that time. I had changed too. I had become smaller, quieter, more careful. I had learned not to ask for too much because I didn't want to be a burden. I had adjusted myself around her absence instead of questioning it. That realization hurt almost as much as the affair. The year she wasted wasn't just hers. It was mine too. Eventually, we went to counseling. Not because I believed it would fix everything, but because I needed clarity. I needed to understand whether what was broken could be rebuilt, or whether it had been neglected for too long. Some days, she showed remorse. Real remorse. Other days, she seemed more upset about the consequences than the choices that caused them. Trust, I learned, doesn't shatter all at once. It erodes. And rebuilding it takes more than apologies. It takes consistency, humility, and patience, things that are hard to sustain when guilt fades and life moves on. I don't tell this story to paint myself as perfect or her as a villain. I tell it because affairs don't always start with passion. They start with permission. Permission to vent instead of communicate. Permission to confide instead of confront. Permission to feel justified instead of responsible. A year is a long time to let something grow unchecked. Long enough for love to weaken. Long enough for resentment to replace connection. Long enough for two people to become strangers sharing a home. Whether our marriage survives is still uncertain. Healing is not a straight line. Some days feel hopeful. Others feel heavy with doubt. But one truth remains clear to me now. Affairs aren't accidents measured in moments. They are choices measured in time. And my wife didn't lose a year. She wasted it.